in this midweek trading day, I should say. I feel once again privileged, honored, and very confident, some would call it confidence, at the fact that even yesterday, when the market was making its unstable move up and down, we didn't get too far into the movement up, and it was just simple. We have to come down and fill that gap. We're not going to be played by the market. I don't care about the up and down ebb and flows until it proves to me that it needs to do what it needs to do. Very excited for November with the understanding of what needed to happen here. The question is, do we come down to $2.29? Bitcoin did fill, finally. Well, I guess finally is a relative term because it's only been a couple of days since the weekend. But it filled that CME gap, that pesky one at 106.8K that we've talked about as the week went on and said, just make sure you don't get caught up in this little bit of noise. And, you know, you want to wait and see that get cleared. At least that got cleared now. Let's see. I don't know if there's a delay. Honestly, I don't know. But anyhow, so we came down to that 106.8K. It actually came down to about 106.1 for Bitcoin, which I'm very happy to see. What the hell is going on here? Why is this not? TradingView is not letting me hit this. Interesting. Let's see. What the hell? I guess I can't use my TradingView right now for some reason. Let's see. Maybe it just needs to reload. There we go. But we went down to 106.1K roughly, so 106,100 and some change. We'll look at Bitcoin real quick. It feels like we could shoot farther down. It just does. We have that bigger gap at 92. So now we have to test and see, does this hold? We came down here well, not quite to the line, but we did come down to 106.1. We could come all the way to 105.8, 105.9. That hidden divergence still plays. It's still there. If I move this out of the way, you can see exactly where the trend line's at. And this is a good thing. You can go even farther back, but you can go from just in the smaller time frame as well. But yeah, but let's focus on, let's get this out of the way. I guess I deleted it, but I'll bring it back after. I want this up here so we can see the moving average convergence divergence. The flow is bearish. Still looks like it's pushing down in the weekly. Definitely looks like it's clearing out a little bit of steam here still. Let's see. I wanted to see it's going so slow right now in TradingView. I don't know how many of you can see, well, I'm sure all of you can see this, but it's going really, really slow right now. Epic at 89 cents. I mean, I don't even look at that as being up a couple percent. I just see that as it went down, and now it's just correcting from yesterday. Now it'll follow the market. All of these that you see green, I don't even look at that as green. I look at this as it would follow the market if it continues going down. Bitcoin's basically just trying to establish that drop. Can we hold this after a drop down here, or does this become a little more messy, and come down to that 92K area? The reason why that's important is because that's a gap that was left there earlier in the pattern that it never filled. So should be interesting. It really should be interesting here. In my title, well, yesterday we put down XRP rally loading first stop $2.65. Whoops. But first the drop as Bitcoin fills CME gap at 106.8K, and that's what we've done so far. Now, XRP never did come down yet. And retap, I don't believe it even came close to retap. Hold on, let me just make sure, because overnight, you know, sometimes you miss things. But to my knowledge, it didn't even come close to that 229. No, it came to 236. And like, it's even further than that though. Because of how we're rolling down, like we talked yesterday, it could be all the way down to 219. Because it really should. Like, the market looks like it really wants to have a hard back test here. It really looks like it wants to have a hard back test. Now, the only thing that would give you a little bit of cause for, like, maybe to pay attention a little deeper is the fact stochastic is so oversold here. 2, 3, 4 hourlies are oversold pretty deeply. Daily's working its way, but it's got room. This still has the daily is going up a little bit. Weekly's extremely oversold, but still there's room for this continuation to back test. So we have to see how this plays. You know, I would hate to be on the outside looking in or the inside looking out. Like, if you bought at a time when you just don't, you know, value the buy, because this is going to move very volatilely. Like, this isn't even keeping up. I don't even know what is going on. Like, it's showing us different pricing and different. This is honestly, TradingView it's pretty embarrassing right now, because this is ultra volatile. I would rather be firmly positioned and wait to see what happens. Obviously, from the drop that we had, the bigger drop, not from yesterday. This is crazy. I can't remember the last time it was this bad. Good morning, 10:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So I want to look at Linear real quick. It's in a very interesting spot in the pattern. I love that it came down. We reestablished some kind of support here. We didn't know yesterday because we didn't have any kind of setting, but we figured it had to come down farther. So I pulled this out a little bit on my phone. And I think we can mimic it like this now. So Linear, this is basically what we're looking at. So you're looking for a pushback up to 1725, assuming now that we've hit a floor, which this is good, what we did. Assuming we don't come to like 1.4, we've got a little reversal in the 4 hourly. We're trying to hook back around. Daily's extremely oversold here, which is great to see in the stochastic. This would suggest that we're in an accumulation zone. As we're trying to work our way back up, that doesn't mean that we don't come back with the market. Doesn't mean we don't break down. The good news is we've already melted all the way down to fill this. So, like, if anybody's expecting this just to come all the way back down with Linear, it's going to be weird, because we came up after this up and down, filled up midway, never came all the way to the top, which we still have to fill out. And I'm going to show you why this is becoming an even juicier and spicier setup once we evolve this pattern. I can show you two different things. One, when you start looking at almost like this, which now you've come to a point where you can't even bounce that far back down. Like, it's opened itself up in a weird wedge style formation that it can't even do this again. It can't even do this again. And what I mean by that is it can't come down this far. Oh, I guess it could if it went to 0. Well, that's probably what I meant. But if it comes down here, the token's probably KO'd. Or you're getting it at the best deal of all times. However, 1, 2 hits on support. But see, now if I put it all the way down like that, that's what I meant. Like, this should be off the board. Yeah, see, this is off the board. So you figure it's hit the couple times in this little wedge, if you want to call it that, broadening. Even though that's a fucking very jank-ass little look. But now you're trying to work yourself out of this. So technically you're trying to find floors. So went up, never filled out the wick to the top side. So there's a gap there. Filled the gap to the bottom side perfectly. I mean, perfectly. Now you can show that we started an uptrend and we know where the uptrend is now. Because this token just came out September 1st, 10th? One of the two. So now I would just, it's pretty interesting, because I wouldn't keep this like this, obviously. I was just showing you the example of, like, it can't come back down there. Even if it wanted to come that far back down, it can't. it's off the board. So what I'm looking at here is the fact it's in accumulation. This should be the accumulation area. It doesn't mean it can't keep riding this. It doesn't even mean it can't fall out. Because if this falls out, it won't come all the way to the bottom.
And so I think that's the issue. We wrote about that in our April letter to our investors.
But you could see it coming to, let's just say it falls out, because I like to show both scenarios. Let's clone this. It falls out. You come back to 0.00932. And then if it doesn't fall out, now we've found ourselves a steady support. Bitcoin filled that gap. We don't need to go lower. You know, in essence, that's not what I'm saying, but I'm saying if that's the case, you'd be pushing up to 219 on your way up above. You know, just over the top here where we created this little resistance now that we're going to have to deal with. But yeah, I mean, that's basically, and you can see how this is filling out, right? We need a tap up here at 2-1. Watch as you fill this pattern out just a little bit. So you definitely, now will it come back down here and reestablish lower? That's a good question. We don't know. So you have support 1, support 2. Here, let's put this out. Let's just do this. This is getting a little messy. You guys see the targets I showed you? So we have, let's see, first hit down here at about, or second hit at 0054. We got to put the earlier one as well, otherwise this won't make sense. So we established the floor at 509, 00509. We came down on a volatile historic drop in crypto when Bitcoin had its first 20,000 candle, and as they usually turn out, they're to the downside, the bigger candles, because you have such big moves up. Oh, what the hell is that? Delete. So now we have resistance over the top. Here, let's get rid of this shit. Resistance over the top. If you're starting to fill this out just from the uptrend, now you got to find the downtrend. Man, TradingView is just sticking, man. So you got 317. You hit a series here where you hit. Let's clone this. And this is going to make sense because it's starting to finally build the pattern. You got this area where it hit 2994 and then it just pushed down. Now what we're looking for is that next hit on resistance. Now, could we fall out first and hit support? We absolutely could. That's why that micro setup is important. So if it breaks up, you'd be looking somewhere around 231. 231. Daily time frame, like I said, is extremely oversold. And the stochastic, the RSI is moving down. Let's see. I don't know why. Oh, that moved down there. That's why. Yeah, TradingView is fucking up so bad right now. It's kind of annoying. It's ruining my flow. Keeps sticking. And then it keeps moving the indicators. Like, look at this. This is fucking ridiculous. Shouldn't be moving this every single time. And then it ruins the way it looks every time it moves it. It's pissing me off. So, yeah, I mean, it's flowing back. It should, it seemingly seems like it should flow back up here. At least for the time being. It's really oversold in the daily. And the stochastic. So that definitely is ringing it's alarming a bell here. That this is going to have to try to figure this out. Maybe come to the top side of this pattern. And try to reestablish if that resistance, in fact, hits at 1.7. But yeah, but it's going to be more about the market. It's going to be more about Bitcoin. If Bitcoin reverses here in the proper way, everything else is going to come up pretty nicely. Because we filled that gap. Now, if it falls farther, we would have to obviously test the lower levels. Like XRP, the next level down would be 229. So yeah, I mean that's what we're looking at here. But honestly, I mean we filled a lot of things here, so it's a good thing. It's a good thing what we're filling. Gold's down $80. Mining stocks down a little bit again today. No surprises. Um, like I said, if you wanted to take profits, you take profits. I have money on the sideline if CLSQ keeps coming back down like we talked about. And if it, let's just say, I'm hoping it breaks this uptrend at 495 and comes all the way back down for a violent retest or breakthrough. But that's still something I'm watching. So that's would be on my agenda list if we go down farther. These you watch, but you just wait for this correction. Because you could be going into well, you're already into a bear market now in the commodities, in the mining stocks. So now it's more about reestablishing. So we're going to try to establish the uptrends. But this is one of those things like, this is all about patience. Because you bought in so low on certain things. Now you have to see where are we reestablishing from there. Or are we reestablishing a little bit higher? Because this is going to be the first area we're going to come into, something like this. So we're going to start making our move. So if I was looking at this, pay attention to 382 now that we're on the downturn. Silver Corp, if you're looking for it this next time around. It's all about, are we coming back into the uptrend, or is this the new defined? Like, have we now created a new, more parabolic uptrend like this? So if that's the case, Silver Corp, you'd be looking at about $5. So we could be retesting these breakouts, which would make a lot of sense. They came out so volatilely. So, I mean, it's all in a perpetual motion. Every single thing we trade, every single thing we look at, it's all perpetual swing. Up and down, left and right. So my biggest thing today is watch, like mining stocks, they're just going to do what they're going to do now. So I'm going to watch them consolidate, and then I'll make a decision later if I want to buy more. But I'm not going anywhere with the majority because I have a different expectation of what I think is going to happen going into next year and so on and so forth. So, but you know, now we should start paying attention to what's going on in crypto. Does Bitcoin break? I'm just telling you right now, if you're holding a lot of things and you're like, Tom, where do we to make it or break it if I want to sell and try to rebuy lower? If Bitcoin breaks 105, it's a problem because we should come down to 92. 104 too, if we take out that low, it's more than likely going. I still think we should go down to 92. But, you know, obviously, that's not a guarantee. You know, it's not a guarantee. So just, you know, remember that.
They are set to report results after the bell today. It is expected to post a 25% drop in the third quarter from a year ago, according to our own internal estimates. Coming up, the government shutdown enters its longest one since U.S. history.
So, but yeah, I do have money on the sidelines for CLSQ if it comes back down. I don't know how much, but enough. You know, I have enough on the sidelines to be able to do something cool there. Anyhow, but yeah, you got to watch these markets though in the perpetual swing. Right now, I'm happy we came down and filled that gap. The bottom line is for crypto, I'm happy we filled that gap. With XRP, no, we didn't come down all the way to 229 yet, or 220, 19 area, which we very well might end up coming down through here, which, if you're asking me, it does make sense. Like, if we're setting up for a November rally, it does make sense to continue to bleed and bleed decently going into it. Now, that doesn't mean that some of these alts might not move a tiny bit and then reestablish and then go down farther. But it does seem like, I don't know. It feels like we're either at that point where we're going to get a little bit of a slingshot, or we're just going to continue to send ourselves back down to 105, see how we play there. But we did clear that gap, which is good. So, well, let me go through and say hello to everybody. If you are watching and you want to support the show and pay it forward, make sure you consider joining Tom's Army, as I put all my content out for free. I go from the pay it forward mentality. as more and more people unsubscribe as the market stays red, even though we're nailing it day by day by day, more and more people continue to unsubscribe, not just from a paid standpoint, from a channel standpoint. And that is what it is. But in the end, everybody will rush back, but it'll be too late. And then my grace will be a little less to the ones who just bail, cause problems, to the ones who see it through. My respect gets bigger and wider and more embracing. But I'm at this inner divide right now. Inner divide. Crypto Cooter, welcome in with Joseph Euler, and thanks for being in Tom's Army 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Omar, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Zelsi's Outhouse Crypto News. Dan Marginal, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor, along with Alec Tony. I really appreciate that. Jay from X, welcome in. POL, good morning. Copper Vein, Papa Wheelie, welcome and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Badge, along with Glenn Barlow. Mike B, welcome in and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor, along with Poppy Lou. Lori Watson, welcome in and thank you so much for tuning in. Yes, the institutional hold. The institutions aren't doing nothing. They're perpetual motion. They know where it's going, and they're able to buy, and they're able to wait. How low do you think crypto go before mid-November? Thanks, Glenn from England. Welcome in, Glenn, Mr. Barlow, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Badge from England. That's a good question. I think we probably, more than likely, already put the low in on that big drop. So, that, where those drops went. Besides, if Bitcoin goes to 92, but the problem is the alts fell so far. Even if Bitcoin went to 92, are they going to fall farther? If they fall farther than that wick low, and they have some steam, it could end up being that crypto winner, and we don't want that. Because if we don't get the November reversal, you might as well just pack it up, and it's going to be a long, cut off 9/10 of value in every single thing you see in front of this screen. Oh, it would be bad. Oh, it would be bad. If we go into a crypto winter, it's going to be horrible, and nobody's going to want to be a part of it. Let's see. Terry Hayes, welcome in. Mark Korf, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Tango, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6+ months with the XP Predictor. Arelli, good morning. It's so awesome, honored, and blessed to see you in here. It really is awesome. Love seeing these similar faces in here that I get to know. Big Dog, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. What is KDA? Oh, CAD, the one that everybody was asking me, and I said it was a big pile of shit because all the streamers are pushing it, and it's going to end up going way down. That one we're talking about? Oh, yeah. Who couldn't have seen that one coming? Anna, welcome in. Glad to see you in here each and every day now. Amazing. Oh, Lori, it is definitely a wooden roller coaster for XRP. But it's more sturdy than some may think. Omar, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army 3+ months with the XRP Meteor. Robert Latham, good morning. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Good morning. Got to get out and hook up a truck. But listen, hey, good luck with that. You be safe, my friend. Just stay safe out there. The Cannabis Podcast and Swirlview, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Swirlview, good luck with your meeting. The Cannabis Podcast, make sure you follow him. He's very close to 500 followers now on YouTube, 500 subs. Mr. Stott, welcome in, along with Mike B. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XP Meteor, and along with Mrs. Stott as well. That's so awesome to see everybody in here. Mike says, wife is calling me from the shower. I think I can do both. Damn, multitasking is fine. So, oh, I understand the multitasking. This morning I had to stay outside with my son as it was pouring rain waiting for school. I bought my first umbrella of my 41 years. I'll be 42 in December. I'd never bought an umbrella before, but I bought one last night because I didn't want him to have to stand out in 42 degrees and rain pouring on him. Crazy Paul, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year with the I Told You So Badge. Ben Graham, good morning. Jesse, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3+ months with the XP Meteor, along with Stephen G. And I did hit the Dolly Varden buy zone, so at least you got to see that. Good morning, all. So, what is a good strategy during alt season? Is it sell, buy, sell, buy? No. No. You don't buy, sell in alt season. No, you look at it, it's accumulation. And I know you're just asking, and thank you for being in times on 3+ months with the XP Meteor. But what you're looking for is when you were selling, you're looking for before these drops. And now, if you bought on that, you're not trying to buy and sell. You're trying to position properly before the push out. And the only question is now we've got still 9 days until November, still about, 18 days until we get into the second week of November, 16 days or whatever it is now. So it's all about positioning right now. And the bottom line is, and it sounds so much easier than it is because it's not easy. We may do it in a unique way that puts us in positioning better than most, but it's not easy. So right now, to buy it right now, it's tricky. When you wanted to buy all of this was when we had that big candle wick down, and everybody's going to say, oh, that's not predictable. Well, it was, because we liquidated pretty much all of our holdings aside from like XRP and the other ones that have been bought from I'm not going to get into it. If you're watching, you know. If you know, you know. I'm just going to do the, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. If you stick around, you will know. And if you don't, you won't know. And when you come back later, when you want to know, you won't know. But if you do know, you will know. And if you will know, you won't. That's the kind of thing. You know, so if you listen to that about 5 times, play it back, unwind it, and rewind it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You can't possibly know what you want to know if you don't stick around in the times you don't want to be there. Because those times are giving you the data for the times when you want to know, even though you don't know. So when you don't know, you got to know in the times of data so that you know in the times of no data. That's it. The time of data was this consolidation off of the low when we back tested the back test. We hit the broadening wedge, and now we made this consolidation, broke out of the consolidation. Now, how could we possibly know if this is going to hold? Well, back test at 220 if it comes way down there. If it hits it earlier, 229 or 225. It's the only way to know. Then if it holds that, it'll bounce out. Or if you get a break above the 200-day on 262, which ultimately leads us into the, you guessed it, that 266 area. If you get on top of that, now all of a sudden you broke back into that consolidation, even though the 5th wave of consolidation and a 5-wave corrective wave moved us down. Now we can reestablish the movement up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. Maybe we can get in to this consolidation barrier again. But understanding if we lose this zone, we're going down to $1.77 to $1.82. That's fine. It's just don't expect the chickens to hatch before the matings began. Like, you don't know if it's going to go down farther. That was our liquidity that we needed before alt season. Still, across the board, nobody's talking about the fact we needed a liquidity event for that. We never seen a liquidity event in the history of crypto like that. Could that mean that Bitcoin could go to a price it's never seen before? Could that mean that alt season, it's going to end up pushing up the total market cap to places we've never seen? Why else would you clear liquidity out like that? You have to ask yourself, why was it so important in one straight shot for them to clear all that liquidity? You know, that's the question. And I encourage you, TOOBIT is on here. Download TOOBIT. Send your money to it for the lowest fees. For the no KYC, no VPN, for an exchange that worked, bar none, in the high times of volatility on that historic crypto drop, the exchange was unaffected. 95% of the exchanges that I use were affected. Or that I know about were affected in a very bad way, to the point where they're refunding you and giving you your money back from. It's just ridiculous how little they're giving people, but claiming they're giving. It's so stupid. So they keep you from being able to buy a historic drop, costing you thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe millions for some. And they're giving you a couple $100 voucher. Oh, thank you. So make sure you get on an exchange that makes sense. Make sure you get on the exchange that is actually working in those high times of volatility. I don't just say this for no reason. I'm not sponsored by them. There's no incentive for me outside of anything else you guys could all do yourself. But I encourage you to click the link, because if you want to copy trade, which I continue at every moment that I can get out of Linea and wait for the next move. But again, I just keep waiting for everybody to join. And it's one of those things, like, I can keep doing it in this consolidation, but the moment it breaks above 1.7, I don't have that ability anymore to wait for everybody. Because I'm not missing the move to 2.3. As long as it's in this consolidation, I have no problem continuing to wait it out and just do it in small micro movements. But honestly, I mean, that we're running out of time with that. We are running out of time with that. Big time. Because once it happens, it happens. And then if it's not with Linnea, I don't know how much I'm going to want to copy trade with everybody if we're not doing it in a certain strategy. Because I really want to do it with everybody with Linnea so that we can counter it against XRP and see what has the... We already own XRP. Wouldn't it be great if we held Linnea as a copy trading group to see what outperforms what from this stage going forward? Not necessarily about just the plus minus, but to see from an X standpoint, does this break down further? Does it hold its value stronger? Do we rise farther? Does XRP pull ahead? Like, that's what I want to know. You know, and that's what I'm interested about, because that's Swift's chosen token right now for what they want to go for the cross-border movement with the existing, you know, Swift accounts, which everybody just assumed it was going to go to Ripple or XRP, but I've been saying since the beginning it's not that simple. It's not that simple. Oh yeah. Let's see. Jesse said, I heard about alt season being up, down, up, down. That's why I was asking. Thank you very much. Always appreciate you. No problem. I just don't think we're in alt season yet. So I just think we're doing the traditional bear market movement right now. But I'll be the first to tell you when I think we've popped out. Now, obviously, this is the tricky part. Maybe we are out of bear market territories. Because look, this is the crazy thing. The way that this broke up out of here now, it basically brought us from a low. And it's so crazy out because now you got to go 20% to technically get out of the bear market corrective territory. But when you start to look at it, it's insanity because we've already bounced back. We're clearly out of bear market in the altcoin season now. We went into a very fast, extended bear market for a very brief amount of time. And even if we consolidate down to 12 cents, it's up 60+%. And we don't know if it's going to come to that's just conjecture and nonsense. Now, if we take out the wicks, you'd have something like this. But again, that's conjecture and nonsense. I'd rather have the wicks because that's telling me from the pullback, wick, to the drop down, wick, to the resistance up, wick, wick, wick. So, I mean, you guys can all make your own conclusion here. Since January, I said we took the elevator up. We're taking the stairs down. And unfortunately, most people decided to buy every single step down and they forgot to buy the floor. How does that happen? Guys, we took the elevator up. We're going to take the stairs down. We took the stairs down. But everybody, buy, 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 out of money. And then eventually when it pops up, they'll say, all right, these ended up being good buys. True, but you could have had the historic buy. And then if it breaks below there and you sell the historic buy because you get an even bigger buy, okay. That's okay. But we know the threshold. You got to ride at the 12.3 cents if you bought that historic flush when it retested the all-time low. Otherwise, what are we really doing here? Are we just buying to sell and selling to buy? Are we putting money on just because we can? Are we trying to do something? Like, I see a bunch of people, even in my own community, that talk about leverage trading all the time. But I fail to see a single person in my own community even that shared their liquidation because you know you got it. Every single person who brags about their 5, 6, 4, 3, 200, even in the comments, even in the Telegram, even within my chat, even on social media. All the leverage traders come out whenever they have a big trade, but they never show you the liquidations that are 10 times more than those little, even those 400 or 500% moves are small comparison to what they're probably losing. Because every single person was not immune from that 15-minute wick. Nobody. So anybody who was going long, I mean, I already know the stories. Some people have been honest, But I want more people to be honest so other people don't make that mistake. And I'm not telling you not to leverage. I'm just saying there's high risk. So if you have $10,000 in your trading account, no more than $250 should be in leverage. Oh, you heard me right. Go ahead. You can spend $9,750 on your spot. Only $250 is going to leverage. And now if you lose that, now I got to deposit 500 more, repay yourself the 250 to get whole and 10,000 in spot and try again. And if you do it again, there's a 50% penalty above what I already, so now you got to pay it. That doesn't count the interest accrued from taking 250 from yourself. So now you got to 1x it back because you gambled and lost. So now you've got to earn twice as much to pay yourself back and then re-gamble again if that's what you so choose. That's my, honestly. But I just want everybody to understand this market more than what people tell us. There's so much more. People say they want to trade Linea. Well, go in, click on the link that I shared for TOOBIT, go into TOOBIT, and go into the copy trade section and type XRP Future Millionaire. You'll see 2 trades that have been in and out, and they've both been losing so far. And I think the testing has gone great. Even when I sold it for $30 loss yesterday, it was a $1.40 something fee. Like, it's a great system. So I have no doubt about what's going to happen once we start to actually do this as a group. And I've done all the legwork for everybody already. I've already done the legwork. And look, now we're fucking bouncing up beautifully. So if anybody's in there, they're in there. If not, you're not. And I'm just going to, all I can do is just, hey, if it breaks down this section, I'll sell it and then I'll rebuy it when it goes lower. It's down on the day. And I'm happy with everything. You know, I'm happy with what I'm seeing. I'm happy with everything. Like, I haven't sold it from 0.009 so that everybody could be in on it. But there's 3 people, which is fine. Nobody wants to be a part of it. But that's okay. Let's see. It honestly doesn't bother me. I'm just kidding. This is what happened on BitUnix as well. Everybody joined after, once they seen profit. But it's not about the profit. It's about the journey together. It really is. So, just out of curiosity, what was it? So, I gotta go to Linea, sorry. I'm trying to, it's set up weird on here compared to what I was on before. So it was, let's go here. Yeah, so even being able to do what I did and testing it out, it's like we're not even technically losing because we're sold, but it gave people time, but now your time again is run out. So it opened it back up, but when I closed it, it was at 01657, and it opened up at 01599. So we might be down, you know, in the $30 or $40 from selling it, but we got more tokens now because we bought back in cheaper. And I've been trying to give everybody that satisfaction here, but I know I'm at the wall right now, so I wanted to make sure I had it under 1.6. That was my goal when I bought it back this morning, since I sold it at 1.65, whatever. But I've been trying to give everybody the opportunity. I can only wait so long every day. And we're gonna watch gold and silver as everybody piles in and makes fun of us for the next few weeks, as it has this historic correction now after a big break up and blow off the top. And just soon enough, what's going to end up happening is it's going to go out the fucking ceiling. I'm just telling you guys. So hopefully this is the movement now, and we bottomed out with crypto. You you know, at least for that movement down, because XRP desperately needs to come up to 265 and reestablish higher. So right now, that is what I'm looking for XRP. I'd like to see it reestablish a little bit higher. I would like to see it reestablish. If you're a leverage trader, you got to be careful. But we really do need to retest for XRP. I would say, and I'll show you that $2.65 area. And we'll take a deeper look. I'm trying to look at the metrics as they play out right now. And it's actually pretty exciting to watch. I like when we get these high times of volatility. I know you guys know this. Because this is where the market, you get a lot of scared energy. And oh man, I love the scared energy. I don't think we could do what we do without the nervous energy, to be honest with you. It wouldn't work. But this is going to be ultra volatile. Ultra volatile. Looks like we're making a nice reversal right now across the market. I told you when we started we were massively oversold. So that's what's playing into this a little bit right now. We're really oversold in a big way. So I don't know. I don't know how many of you have the same mindset as I have right now of like, it's not that I'm overconfident, it's just into the forward view, because this right now doesn't even matter. This whole movement right now, I don't know what to think about it. This could be the start of a reversal right now. Yeah, Bitcoin did, Craig. It filled that gap, 100%. So, I mean, we cleared that out. That's what we were trying to do yesterday. Futures is a little behind right now. So, you know, we want to see this keep up a little bit. Futures market's a tiny bit behind, but it's very volatile here. We're within this moment. We're either going to have a quick 10 to 15% surge across the market, which it's overdue. But XRP needs to get up to 265. I really feel that way. Like, we need to clear this out at some point. The fact we held and then break down through that 229 barrier, look how oversold we are in the smaller time frames and the stochastic. This is exactly where you would expect a tricky, sneaky reversal. But never expect the unexpected, because we can still go down farther. So that's why I say forget leverage. Enjoy the trading game, but don't try to here's the bottom line. I have more fun trying to figure out the spot positioning. If you want to gamble selling out your spot positions and trying to rebuy it lower when you think a drop's going to happen, rather than gambling away your future on leverage. Because what happens if you bought right now and you're extremely confident it's going to go down, right? Everybody's talking the short side. XRP, you're convinced it's going to go to $2.29 or $2.19 or below $2. And what happens here, because we back tested the gap on Bitcoin, what if Bitcoin just surges and retests the top area now of the structure? Because it's held this area now. It's held it. What if now it decides to break back up and now retest the upper boundaries again? Because this pattern, as I've said it once, I'll say it twice, and I'll say it 4 times over again. Technically, if you even look at it like this pattern needs to come all the way out into almost 2027, where it could be da-doot. And for all we know, alt season could be a big from 127 to 92 to 105, back down, back up. This could be alt season and Bitcoin just stays in here. Who knows? That could also end up being like an ascending formation. Instead of being an ascending wedge, like a rising wedge, this could end up being an ascending triangle, which, if that's the case, we'd go to like 160K. Oh, Sola Jeff, you better believe it. With XRP, it is suggesting a monumental breakout. Let me say it again, a monumental breakout. And that's why I think there's no doubt that we're getting to 549 and ultimately 639 just from this initial setup of the cycle that went for 6-7 year consolidation from January of 2018 to November of 24. But I don't think the copy trading link didn't work. Can you repost it, please? It didn't work. The copy trading link, there is no link. You have to go in and find me. The link that I showed you is to get you on the exchange. I don't believe there is any copy trading link to be followed. You have to go into the copy trade and type in XRP Future Millionaire. And I know it works because 3 people are part of it. So it's different. I can't just, there's no link for me to share. That's why I've been talking about this for day after day after day. Because it's a pain in the ass for me to do it on this particular one in comparison. Oh, Nova, thank you so much for the gifted sub. I really, really appreciate that so very much. Scotty Trades, a perfect person to get that gifted sub. Second month in Tom's Army for Scotty Trades with the Dusty Isles Crypto News. Congratulations, Scotty Trades, on getting that gifted sub. What a generous. That's on TOOBIT. Go to the gym, bro. I bought back into it. Right where it's at right now. Because what I ultimately want to do, like I've been describing, we have XRP already, over 10,000 tokens. We have a couple 100,000. I don't know what it filled at. 200 and something thousand tokens of Linea. It's $3,000 something dollars. But I put in approximately the exact same amount I put into XRP with the 3,500 to start. I might do more with Linea though. That's the thing. I may end up going deeper. I don't know. But I wanted to go with a couple 100,000 tokens off the gate, off the get-go. But it's still, I don't know, there's no guarantee that I can still, as long as it's in this rotation, I have no problem selling it for minimal losses. I don't care if it says I'm 0 for 15 trading, if I'm trying to get the audience, and that doesn't bother me. I don't care about losing a few dollars. But I do want to see the comparison to XRP as we go through these rallies. I think it would be fascinating. Wow, look at the Bitcoin futures just surpassed the Bitcoin price. So, I don't know. It feels like a sneaky pattern here setting up. Because we came down and filled that gap. That was so important to me for this next movement. I know all of you know this because for most of you, you were here yesterday. It's so important. Now we're on top of the 200-day in the daily. And now our next goal is going to be to come back up to 112 and try to see, let's see in the 4-hourly what Bitcoin's looking at. It's breaking bullish here in the stochastic. 4-hourly could be a reversal candle here. I mean, we very well could start flipping the script here to the top side. That could be a very sneaky inverse head and shoulders there too in the 4-hourly. Shoulder, head, shoulder. That could be a very sneaky. If it is, it's going to swing back up at least and try to retest back. I mean, this could be a sneaky reversal here. Bitcoin dominance is screaming that it wants to come up right now. Like it came up to 62. Now it's screaming that it wants to come back up and retest. And that would be right here in the daily. It wants to come up to 60.6% roughly to try to retest it, looks like. We can't get ahead of ourselves because who the fuck knows? Just as easily as I think it wants to go up, I could see XRP is going right down to 235. Or I mean 229. So I don't know. This could be the grand deception here before the altcoins start taking a shit again. We don't know. It is nice to see Epic out ahead by 3.6%. Maybe that's trying to give us a little bit of an outlier. Is there anything else with the outlier right now? No. Band's up 2%. Basically it. The rest of them have absorbed most of the losses. Dent's up less than 1%. CRO's barely up. Open serve is up 2.7. Nothing major there. Algo's up about 0.5% with IOTA. This one for IOTA, the USDTP is in the minute. The IoT USD one, for some reason, that takes a second all the time to catch up. So yeah, we're in a very interesting and ominous spot here. Yeah, John, I could certainly see that. I could certainly see another push up to 135 on Bitcoin. It definitely could. Let's see. Yeah, that was in here, Scotty Trades. Nova sent a gifted sub, and you were the random choice from YouTube today, so it's your lucky day indeed. XRP's corrected a lot of the loss this morning, but it's still going to have to get up over this daily resistance at 256 to start pushing it at 265. if that's what we're destined to do. I mean, we are starting to reverse a little bit in the stochastic because we're so oversold. It does seem to make sense to come up to the 200-day and retest this in the 4-hourly. And the fact that it's also coupled with the fact that that's the breakdown point, it does seem like that's where we should go. It does. It really does feel like that's where we're probably going to go first. So, but you know, I'm not a financial advisor, everybody. This is just what I'm seeing in the market. Do we have an uncanny ability to seem to stay a step ahead, at least up to par with the market, and at least have an understanding? We do. But that doesn't guarantee that this is going to go up and tap these areas. It could very well fall first. Oh, yeah. For me, Scotty trades, I won't get bullish on XRP until first it retakes 306 and ultimately can take out that area around 330 and hold it as a support. Then I'm going to start to be like, oh, what do we got going on here kind of thing. So, but no, Cannabis Podcast, I like that. It's like we're about to start a race and we're just circling the track and waiting for the green flag. It kind of feels that way for real. Nova, thank you for the $10 donation. Says thank you for your daily insights, Tom. Much appreciated. And also for the gifted sub, my friend. So I guess you don't have to be in Tom's Army to gift a sub. Some people were saying you had to be in Tom's Army to do a gifted sub, but you do not, which is awesome. That's cool to know. Thank you so much for that, Nova, for paying it forward this morning. You have showed the gift of kindness, my friend. What else? What else? Ethereum over 3,800 right now. Oversold in the stochastic in the 4-hourly. Let's see where the daily sits. Daily's that's not the greatest candle in the daily. Weekly's on the 20-day. We're at a very ominous spot is all I'm going to say. Just as much as we could have a nice little surge up to grab some liquidity, is just as easily as this market could legitimately fall off. It could fall off. But I still can see a tap to 265 for XRP. That's the 4-hour 200-day. Stochastic is way oversold in the way oversold in the 4-hourly. Just massively oversold in the 4-hourly. Over near the neutral area, now a little bit below, but rounding. So it is. We are primed. If the market wants to take us there, nice inverse head and look at this, a sneaky on XRP inverse head and shoulders. So it very well could take us up here. Maybe this would be the grand meeting point. I don't know, but there's definitely something lining up here if you look at this. You have this swing low start to come up like this. Ah, fuck, that looks like ass.
Unisys transforms businesses. Unisys worked tirelessly to transform Benjamin Moore's IT.
But you're starting to try to create something here, and we don't know if this is the measured low, and then this is it, or if this is gonna be but it does look like we need to come up here for either some kind of resistance tap. Maybe this is just starting here, and maybe this is how it's gonna. I don't know. We'll see. I would love now, because we came down to that liquidity zone on Bitcoin. Now what I would love to do is see the reversal up to 265 for XRP and see how we're going to react. Otherwise, if we just fall through here, we haven't got any more data from above, and we're just showing we were weak on the bounce. And look at Bitcoin. It hit 109 and immediately came back down. I mean, I'm not seeing anything that's real convincing here that we're just going to go straight to the moon here.
And the promise that no matter where you're from, we'll get you where you want to go, with professors that guide you forward and a community that has your back. Our culture's care and support gives every student peace of mind and know you've got this.
This whole market's in that unknowing space. It's in the unknown zone. It does give that under the radar feeling like if we can hold out right now and not fall through, you could get a little retest to the top side, but I don't know. I'd be very careful. Oh, well, if people are doing that, I'll pull my stuff out while you guys are setting up that. I don't care. I'm not, like I said, I'm not too worried about the copy trade right now. There's not a lot of money in there right now. But if everybody's trying to get in it, I don't mind keeping it to the sidelines until everybody figures it out. Like I said, as long as it's in this little setup, I don't mind. I don't mind. It's still in the accumulation area, but once it gets out of there, it's not going to be as, I'm not going to be doing this anymore is the only thing. I'm not going to be, hey, I'm willing to just wait for everybody, because even now I'm costing myself money.
John, it's great to have you back with us. You know, the story. You're welcome. It's like a simple story. You know, the data from the quarters.
Granted, it's not a lot of money because in theory, we'll try to buy it when it gets cheaper. But still, it's money nonetheless if I keep doing this. And then it's that fine line, like right now, I got to see if it even makes sense. Because right now,
Customers want to buy both wireless and broadband from us. And when we can do that, even if it's promotional, that's a good customer to pick up because they have great lifetime.
because the 2 hour is just pushing up here. So what?
They'll address that very issue.
It leaves us a little bit of time. This whole market leaves us a little bit of time. I really would like as many people as possible to be part of that, so we can do a little study with Ladina.
Obviously, give them a better price for their loyalty. Over time, we move them up on the continuum of services.
Nah, the fib tools are just going to be speculation on the percentile drop. It's just going to be in the same areas we have up there. I don't like the fib. It makes me lazy.
I don't know if you have some water there with you. Let me give you a second just to take a quick drink.
$100 is the minimum.
In the quarter, and we've discussed this.
That's the $100.
Carriers, it was iPhone 17.
It's just a 1x trade.
I was there in Cupertino Apple Park on the day of its release. Can you give us a real-time sense, even if it's from a promotion perspective?
It's nothing overwhelming. You don't have to do it overwhelming.
Well, I think it's not
Bitcoin in the futures is oversold in the stochastic and the 2 hourly. 4 hourly's hitting a resistance point to see if we can break through the trend line. Resistance line, I should say. It does look like we could have a sneaky inverse pattern set up here, though. It really does. We'll see if that plays out. If that plays out, that's sneaky. That's a sneaky setup here.
People see what it is. So there has been an increase over last year and maybe some other previous years. It's not a record-breaking cycle, but it's strong. And we're seeing that as a result.
See, I see a lot of people.
Dramatically out of pattern, given the
It says there's 3 people copy trading me, but 10 people have liked
very effective at working through it. 400,000, over 400,000.
what I'm doing. Now, if you're trying to follow and you just went on TOOBIT and you typed in my name but didn't click the link, that's probably the issue because it's linked up to me.
Final on the iPhone 17. Will it be
Um,
a factor in the 3-month period that ends in?
So yeah, there's only 3 people that are actually connected to my trades.
The holiday season,
There's 10 likes.
always peak season.
There's 10 likes.
The industry expert.
I'm not even sure how that works. Like 10 people have hearted it because I don't know. I can't see that side of
I
it.
don't see anything what we
Like I'm not sure what that is all about. But that's completely different. You won't be able to follow the trade like that. That just means you liked it and maybe you're watching from the sidelines or something. I don't know. Because there's 10 fans.
We're going to compete and continue to earn our fair share of service revenues on those converged customers that I talked about.
That's interesting. I'm not. That's an interesting thing on there. It's a lot different. Because I can make posts on there. Like you can be my friends on there, but
Turn on my television.
that's not what it's about. Or at least that's not what it was about.
Social media timeline. I keep seeing AT&T.
Yeah, that's so
talking
weird.
about itself as a
That's
whole
exactly what it
internet
is.
provider. I know that's been a priority. Have you any evidence that that push has been a success?
Yeah, so 10 of you have subscribed to actually watching. Yeah, see, that's all fucked up. It's not even worth having a copy trade open. Everybody's in the wrong spot. So I'm basically just preaching to myself. I'm getting rid of this until everybody figures it out.
Our strategic products and services, fixed wireless. And
Well, this sucks. I'm just pissing my money back and forth. I should just kept it in at 0009 and not been going back and forth. I don't care. We'll gain more tokens in the end, but still, I'd prefer Don't just subscribe to me so you can see what I'm doing without actually being a part of it. I don't like that. I'd rather you just not follow it at all if you don't want to be a part of it. But anyhow, it's all about getting the experience. You can't just get the experience if you're watching what I'm doing and not doing it yourself. Like, you want to be involved. You want to be involved. I want you involved. There's no doubt about it. I want you all involved.
Okay, shares are down a touch more than 1%, which in the grand scheme of today is modest. It's a decline. The back and forth you had with the analyst was, yes, churn is up.
But with the trajectory right now, if this continues going down, and this is my final word, XRP would go down to $2.29, and ultimately it could, not 229, 220 maybe. It could be as much as 220 because we're gonna have to back test this setup. Market cap would be around 129.27 if that happens. 220 is where it would look. We are rather oversold here and then stochastic, but it very well could push us this next hemorrhaging down. We could hemorrhage down here. Everything just seems like it's pushing in that direction right now. Not a lot of volatility upside. Ethereum looks horrendous in the daily time. I mean, just horrendous. That's a horrible bearish candle engulfing. That's horrible. It's coming down to the 200-day in time. So I expect this to be down at about 35.70. What does this mean for the rest? Daily time frame. Yeah, these are all going to look like shit here in a minute. Probably down to the uptrend at 16.7. And then who knows, we'll go from there. We got the rejection. Everything seems to be getting rejected. IOTA looks terrible in the daily. Looks like it wants to come down to the 1, 2, 3 possibly. We'll see. It could eat it up. Obviously, we could eat it up in reverse. But it doesn't look very promising right now at all. It doesn't look promising from the perspective of we're just going to get a quick surge up. That's for sure. So, hey. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Crypto Fear and Greed is at 29 and Bitcoin's at 107. Oh, you're Mr. Wimbush. You are cherry picking right now. Yeah, it was. It was at 56 when it was at 67K, but it also went down to like 2 or 6 when it was on the low. So that's during a consolidation zone, yes. But I mean, yeah, we could move up substantially, but just know that it was much lower than that too within those movements. A lot lower. No, I know that crypto cooter. That's why I jumped the gun trying to do it. I gotta wait until we've got the appropriate people in there for me to even open it. It doesn't even matter. You know, that's more on me than everybody else. Would love to talk Dolly Varden. I talked about it in the beginning. There's not much to talk about right now. It's going to be a downward little movement. And right now we have to see if we can establish an uptrend here at $3.80 something cents. 376-ish, 380. And if that doesn't hold, you know, we're going to have to see. Earnings come out in November. But we've had big movement throughout the commodities, so what goes up must correct. We're seeing it in crypto. It doesn't just go straight up. So if that breaks, then for Dolly Varden, you see a little bit steeper correction. It could be all the way down to like 290. So there's not a lot to say right now aside from we want to see if this is either a back test for a continuation, as you can see, going like this. Because we broke out. And now we very well could be back testing. This is a better way to look at it. This very well could be back testing. So right now, $4, $3.96 on the back test. So now we have to see if it holds $3.96. If that holds, then we could cook a little bit. That's what all these movements are back testing their extreme movements. We targeted $55 for the initial move up for silver. I mean, we came within fractions of that before the initial consolidation. I mean, we nailed that. Gold, same story. We talked about 4,125 before a corrective phase, and we didn't know if it would come down and retest an uptrend at 3,700, 3,591, but we were so close to that too. And that's what we had prior to the run-up. So I'm very happy about this. So it's to be expected. We're severely oversold. Daily time frame is running down real quickly, but it takes time. Takes time. There will be some kind of consolidation at some point, you know, but there's going to be a frenzy right now, and it's one of those things when it gets to a zone where you feel comfortable, you very well could take advantage. You very well could take advantage. So that's it. Hopefully I'll be back tonight, depending on how my son is. Sometimes it doesn't work out so much. You just hit subscribe and it went. Yeah, it's not subscribing. You're not subscribing. You're trying to follow me as a copy trader, not subscribe to it. Subscribing to my copy trade is because I can make posts on there. You want to follow me. Marty, I disagree. How is crypto boring? It's boring because all you're looking at is you want to make dollars. You're not looking at the real beauty here. The real beauty. So everybody who's hitting the subscribe button, that's not actually following the copy trade. You're following my post on there, which I'm not going to make post on TOOBIT. That's, you actually have to follow it. So there's the big misunderstanding. That's what's going on. I'm not sure why that is. Because I can't see it. Let me type in, let me go to copy trade and try to search. Am I not even popping up in copy trade again? Is that what? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. There's just been some issues. I can tell you that much.
Choice Privileges makes it easy to earn points and maximize any vacation. You can earn reward nights fast and redeem at over 7,400 hotels.
Yeah, I don't even think it came up when I just searched it. That's interesting. Oh, wait a minute. I went on the wrong thing. So, here's my copy trade. Then I gotta go, but I want to try to get to the bottom of this while we're together. Because it's actually a little frustrating, to be honest with you guys. I want to see what everybody's seeing, so let me try to search myself. Okay, I see myself. I've lost myself $273 trying to get this set up properly. What a... Yeah, the fourth person just followed now, so obviously what I said resonated. So yeah, you can't hit subscribe. You've got to
Earn Coast Cash on the fall essentials you need, then spend it on the fall styles you want at Cole'sandColes.com.
It's an appreciation for what you have planned for how pre-season more.
XRP Future Millionaire is what you search on TOOBIT, my name. XRP Future Millionaire.
Politics to the world of business. Joe Matthew and Kaylee Lines deliver news.
Let's see.
insight, and
Wondering if it's... I don't know. I can't see the individual, the whole name. You have some privacy.
at 1 and 5 Eastern, only on Bloomberg.
Everybody has privacy. I can't... All I can see is the last 3 numbers that they associated with your trading account. I can't see anything else. But now that I know, it said somebody joined 6 minutes ago, so I know that worked. I did notice a few people did resubscribe instead of following, so that could be the problem. A lot of people are hitting subscribe instead of actually finding me as a trader and following it. Subscribing doesn't do any good if you're trying to do... Yeah, I don't know. I've never been on one where you could copy trade and you could actually subscribe to the person too and follow. Maybe they're trying to innovate something for all we know. But yeah, this doesn't look good. For the immediate, just like my title, XRP targets 229. I think it's lower. I should have put 220 probably, but the next target would be 229. The Telegram gives great instructions. So like, if you want to be a part of this, join Tom's Army or go into the Telegram if you're a part of it and follow the step-by-step instruction. I'm not wasting any more of my time. I'm just simply gonna tell you to go there and look at it. Define did a fantastic job step by step for everybody so we wouldn't have to go through all of this day after day after day. It's up to you to take the steps because I know most of you are in the Telegram. Take the steps and do it. It's the best way to do it. It's the best way to do it because it's so hard to just do it over this. But let's just watch this melt a little bit and then we'll reattempt this. We'll reattempt to see if we can get the bullish one. We're not into November yet. We know what's probably happening here. So, yeah. But let's just got to wait. We've got another 10 days or so, and then we'll start to hopefully start to see a built direction. We just need this to continue to fill out. These are the hardest times. We'll see if we get a reversal or not. Hopefully Ethereum can reverse what it's showing, because if it doesn't, it's going to come down near 3570 area. So, and that would be the next